my term project, I created a vertical scroller game called Turtle Duel, and essentially there's randomly generated platforms which occur as you scroll up, and you have to avoid enemy characters or shoot enemy characters and basically survive as long as possible to get the highest score. So when we first run the code, we have our main menu screen, and here we have four options: start, AI mode, leaderboard, and quit. And just a quick overview: start starts the normal game, which is player controlled. AI mode is a mode where searching algorithms find the nearest platform and the character plays automatically. The leaderboard displays the five highest scores. If we go here right now, we can see that it says no scores, and this function actually uses file IO to like read and write to an external txt file to get the top five scores, and quit just quits the app. So let's start off with the start mode. So we can see there's moving platforms and there's static platforms. If you move off the screen, you wrap around, and you can see that's an enemy character on screen right now. You can use the up, left, and right arrows to control the character. You can shoot projectiles using the space bar, and those eliminate enemy characters and they add to your score. The way the game is made is to incentivize the player to always stay more towards the middle of the screen, because as you can see, enemy characters appear right at the top as you scroll up. So staying too high up increases the chances of colliding into a newly generated one. And because the game scrolls up as you jump on the platform, the player can't be stationary on the same platform for too long. Then, when we have our game over screen, we can see that it displays the high score, which is our current score for now because it's the first round of the game, and the score for the current run. If we quit back to the main menu and see the leaderboard, we can see it's been updated, and that's how the main player mode works. Then we have the AI mode, and the way this works is that there's an algorithm which compares the coordinates of the main character on screen and a list of the coordinates of all other platforms on screen. And what it essentially does is it finds the platform which is closest to the main character and moves to it. But after experimenting with the algorithm a bit, I also added in features for it to uh, avoid platforms which are too high up the screen for the same reasons I spoke about before. And it also has a function to shoot enemy characters if the detector is being directly above it. So if we can see that in action again, you can see that that's essentially how it works. Um, Another challenging part that I found of making this game was actually just perfecting the mechanics for how to generate the platforms as you scroll up and the positioning of the different sprite groups relative to each other. Because although Pygame makes it really easy to have all these on the screen, it's hard to optimize the game in such a way that it minimizes overlap, and it just positions them in such a way that the screen is saturated enough for a challenging, engaging game, but also not just too filled up or too sparse. So, coding in algorithms we check for minimum and maximum distances, preventing overlaps, and it was quite challenging, especially as the game scrolls up, because the positions of the platforms and the enemies are randomly generated. But overall, I found this to be the most effective way to do it. And when we hit a game over screen here, we can look like just now we can see that the player shot the enemy character as well. And just for the sake of time, if we just exit out of this mode right now by calling a game over and we quit and we see the leaderboard, we can see that it again has been updated. Thank you.